Hello, in this video we're going to be looking at how we import boundaries from the old AgLeader software. First of all, we'll look at how we export the boundaries from the AgLeader software, and then secondly we'll look at how to import them back into the PLM mapping software. Rightio, we are in the old AgLeader version of the software, and to export a boundary the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that there's a boundary round the outside of the field. Now here we have our boundary area, but our field shape, but it doesn't actually have a boundary round the outside of it. So what we do is right mouse click and go freeze boundary, and it brings up the boundary of the field now that we can see the black line around the outside of it. So that's stage one done. The next stage is to right mouse click on house and then select export. And the export method is generic file format, so we make sure that the bottom button is ticked. Start to generic file export process. And here the most we want to export as a shape file. So that's the one that we select. We'll use all the default settings. We don't need to change that. Exported to selected file format. What I'm going to do is actually create a folder on the desktop so it's easy to navigate to and delete afterwards once I've completed the job. So I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop called AgLeader Boundaries, and my file name in this instance is going to be house field. So it relates to the field that we're exporting the information and the boundaries from. So we click save, and that is the export process completed. So I now go to my new software, and I've already selected house field on my management tree, and now to bring the data in, I will right mouse click and go import boundaries. I will navigate to my desktop and then select the folder that has got AgLeader boundaries into it, and then house field as a shape file will appear. I'll double click it to make sure that it goes into the file name box, and then click open. I select my coordinate system, which will be latitude and longitude, and select OK, and we see it's a direct replica of what has taken place. We've got two pieces in here that have got no data. These are internal boundaries, and you will know whether you'll need to keep things like that or not. If not, we can just take them out at a later date. So I click save and close, and now my boundary for house field appears. So if I click Lay's Farm, the boundary of house field stays in view, because the boundary layer is always the top layer, and whatever we do, it will always show. It can be a little bit confusing until you get used to it. In the old software, it never showed the boundary unless you selected it. In this software, it will show the boundary at all times. So that's how we export a boundary from the old software and bring it into the new.